Oh, hello there. Didn't see you there. How are you doing? I hope you're amazing today. What are you looking at? Oh, this. Yeah. Let me explain. Hi. Hello there once again. Welcome to my classroom. I am OP the teacher, and before we take a look at how we can build this amazing contraption, I would like to take a deeper dive into why what happens actually happens. Now, don't worry. If you only came here to prank your friends with an invisible door and aren't interested in getting educated about stuff, then you can go ahead and skip to the tutorial part using the timestamps in the video. But if you want to learn about why it happens, well then, stick with me. So you did decide to stay with me after all. Brilliant. Now, let's take a look at this blackboard right here. You know what? No, that would be boring. Instead, let me turn this into a TV so you can take a look at a very elaborate PowerPoint presentation that definitely didn't take me 3 minutes to make. Now, we're going to be simplifying things big time today, but what you need to know is that most multiplayer games nowadays use a client-server system. That means that every single person who wants to play this game needs to connect to a central server which coordinates the communication between every single person on the server. Now, you might be questioning my thesis here right now because, hey, I'm only playing single player. Why do I care about some server stuff? Well, what you might not know is that when you're playing Minecraft, you actually have a full-on Minecraft server running internally behind the scenes. So your computer actually becomes the server and the client simultaneously. But coming back to how the client-server infrastructure works, is that if I, for example, move from one position to another position, I'm going to tell that to the server, and then in turn, the server is going to tell all the other clients that I have moved. That way, everyone can see me move in sync, and my body is always in the same position for everyone. Now, the fact that the server is the middleman between everyone is actually a very important thing, because if a client does something malicious or, something suspicious, the server can decide to vote that client out, or rather, just block their actions. Let's say that my client suddenly goes and says, "Hey, Mr. Server, I have got all these diamonds. I don't know where I got them from, but I have them." Well, and this server can go like, "No, you don't. You don't have those diamonds. I didn't see you mining, or there's no way you have them." And that does actually happen sometimes. For example, with movement. When you're playing on a laggy server, it may just so happen that you're going to suddenly get teleported back, known as rubber banding. That means that the server didn't accept that you have moved because the server was laggy or your computer was laggy, so your movement didn't make much sense to the server. So instead, it teleported you back. And let us think, what is another big thing that needs to be in sync for everyone? I think it has to do with the terrain and the blocks everywhere around us. But that would be a little bit of an overkill to just constantly send all the terrain data and all the blocks to the clients. They would get overwhelmed easily. Basically, your game wouldn't function if the server tried to constantly send you information about all the blocks around you. So instead what happens is the server only does it once, you only load all the chunks once, and then the server goes, hey bro, I trust you. I trust you that when I give you those chunks, you're going to do exactly what I do with them, and we're all going to be happy without having to do those weird control checks and stuff thingies. Words. Now, I think you can already see a problem here. What happens when the client actually does something that the server doesn't do? Well then, the terrain is no longer going to be in sync. Welcome to ghost blocks. And there are two kinds of ghost blocks. Firstly, the server can have a block in its memory somewhere, but your client doesn't. In that case, the server will see the block, but you will not see the block. And that was a big problem back in the days when we were mining with efficiency 5 and just the beacon effects. I don't do survival very much, I think you can tell that. But yeah, basically what was happening is when you were mining way too fast, you were removing all the blocks on your side. However, some blocks were staying on the server's side. So you didn't see the blocks anymore, but if you tried to walk there, where there was actually a block from the server's perspective, you would get glitched in there. Because technically your client thinks, hey, there's nothing there, I can walk through there. But if you try to do that, the server is going to tell you, no, you can't go with it, there's a wall there. So weird things were happening there. Now, contrary to that, what we have here is we have blocks that the client sees, but the server doesn't. The blocks don't actually exist. They only seem to exist for the client. In the previous snapshot, my dear friend, Crafty Masterman, discovered a bug thanks to which we can now generate those ghost blocks. Now, don't expect this to stick around for much longer. Mojang are definitely going to fix it soon. But definitely do go to his channel, thank him for discovering this amazing bug, and subscribe to him. Do that, otherwise I'm going to personally track you down and commit hate crime. But thanks to his discovery, I've got right here my own little design of a ghost block generator using this pulverized snow, or the powder snow, this new block that we got. Yeah. Anyway, what's going to happen when I press this button is we're going to get a ghost block right here. And how do we know that it's a ghost block? Well, when we right click it, it's going to disappear. Because the client's going to go, hey Mr. Server, so like I right click this block right here, and so something definitely should happen. But the server goes like, okay, you right click this block, but I don't see anything there. Are you sure that you clicked on a block? So the server basically sends information to the client that there is no block right here. And the client goes like, oh, yeah, right, sure. My mistake. And you can exploit that by creating huge amounts of ghost blocks which don't exist, but in the client's eyes, they do. So I can jump around on it, I cannot go through it, but if I right click it, boom. As for how this generator actually works, well, it only works thanks to this new weird powder snow block thingy. Because it's been reintroduced just recently, and it's still very buggy. But again, what actually happens is this piston right here goes, okay, what is this block in front of me? It tastes like powder snow block. So it will memorize that there's this block in front of it, and it's going to do something with that information that this piston has memorized soon. But before that happens, this dispenser also goes, okay, I have a bucket inside. What is in front of me? Oh, it's this new amazing block that I can't remember its name. Let me pick it up and store inside of myself. But this piston has already said, okay, there's this block in front of me, I'm going to move it. Then the dispenser takes the block away, but the piston is already committed and pushes the non-existing block up here. See, this block, this white block, it doesn't exist because the snow is already inside the dispenser. That's when the next part comes in. This piston takes this block back, but what block is here actually? Well, since this block doesn't exist, this red concrete block never gets pushed. This block stays there even though it looks like it gets pushed upwards. So the piston grabs the block which is here. For the client, it's the snow block, but for the server, it's still the red concrete block. So it pushes it towards itself, And then the client goes, hey, I thought this was snow, but apparently no, apparently it's red concrete. I'm going to turn this block into red concrete on my side now. And so now we've got 2 pieces of red concrete. To summarize, once again, the piston wants to push this block, which at the same time is picked up by this dispenser right here. It tries to do it anyway, even though this block doesn't exist. And then the server reminds the client, hey, this block right here, it's actually the red concrete block. Thanks to that, we can do amazing things like this right here. Now, without any more further ado, let's actually take a look at how we can build this thing in our own amazing survival world. Firstly, you're going to find the spot where you want your door to be on some form of block. Now, the blocks that are going to cover this door have to be the same kind of block as the block that the door is actually standing on. The materials you're going to need are 1 piston, 1 sticky piston, a bunch of blocks, then a dispenser, 10 pieces of redstone dust, 4 repeaters, 2 redstone torches, 1 observer, 1 skulk sensor, 6 pieces of any sort of wool, and then powder snow bucket. I also have a lever and a stun button, which will just help us test the entire thing as we go, but you're not going to need them in the end. Nevertheless, those are some very cheap materials, so they shouldn't be any problem. Anyway, so for starters, we're going to go down 12 blocks from here. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to remove everything that I just did. And you're going to put a piston right here. Next thing you do is you put your amazing powder snow bucket right here on top of this piston and dispenser facing this very block. Now the bucket that you're going to have left over after putting the snow here, it is going to go inside of this dispenser. Next to this dispenser will be a block below which I will put the button for now so we can test it manually. On the inner side of your room, so this is your outside, this is your inside. So on the inner side, you're going to have a redstone torch, a piece of block above this torch, sticky piston. The block that you want your door to be covered by goes here again, same block as the door, as what the door is standing on. So all the blocks in this column, they have to be the very same block. Next thing, we put a block with a piece of redstone dust right here. A redstone torch here. I'm going to remove this piston just so it doesn't do any crazy things when I put this torch there. There we go. Now on top of this torch, an observer. A block here so that this piece of redstone dust doesn't connect to this piece of redstone dust. And make sure that this piece of redstone dust is a cross and not a dot. You can change a dot to a cross and vice versa by right-clicking the piece of redstone dust. And again, make sure it's a cross. And with that, well, there we go. We've got our generator fully assembled. But we still need to automate it auto-magically so our door gets covered up without any input. We're going to have a redstone repeater going into this block, set to 4 ticks. And out, right here, set to 2 ticks. It will be activated by this redstone torch right here. A block in front of this new repeater, and a piece of redstone dust right here. There we go. Now it's already rolling automatically. Let's see it cover up our door. It is almost there already. 3 more blocks to go. And there we go. Our door has been completely covered up, but it's still there. So that if we right click this area, our door appears. And if we right click this door, we can obviously open it. But as you can see, that would never be enough time for us to walk through there. So let us pause this generator for a second by putting a repeater right here and a lever right there. What we need to happen is we need to detect the player walking near the door. I'm going to just remove some of those ghost blocks right here so we have more space. Going to extend this walkway right here. And you can also use a pressure plate right here, so the door opens automatically for you, like that. And this is going to be on the inside. You can also have one on the outside, but we're going to be concerned with what's on the inside now, because on the inside we also need a sculk sensor below this block that would have your pressure plate. Around this sculk sensor we're going to have a few pieces of wool. You need to keep this one unoccupied because that's where the row or column of ghost blocks will go. And what we can do now is we can get this signal out of our amazing sculk sensor and down to our generator. So whenever it detects a player, it goes, "Hey, Mr. Generator, can you stop because the player wants to exit?" So a piece of redstone dust below the sculk sensor. The block right here where you're going to have your repeater must be the same block as what the door is going to be covered by again. You might go, "Hey, but won't this repeater be broken by the ghost blocks?" Well, it will look like it got broken, but then again, those blocks aren't real. They don't exist, so the repeater won't actually get broken. Now we go further down, making an amazing redstone line, like this. And there we go. Now, whenever a player walks up to the door, the generator is going to pause. And also, this repeater is going to go, "Hey, I still exist." So the client will notice that it needs to put a repeater there and not the block. What this will make sure that happens is that even if the generator still produces one more block when a player stands here, this block is going to break this repeater and not the door in front of us. Because yeah, that works already. If you walk up to this door, right click one of those blocks, well then you can open this door up. Similarly, coming from the inside, you can step over the pressure plate, the door will open automatically for you, and you can walk through. To see it happen again from the outside, when I walk up to it and press with my right mouse button on the blocks, then the door is going to reveal itself. Same goes for this. Amazing! I really love this concept. It's so sad that it will definitely be fixed in an update really soon. But nevertheless, I just couldn't miss the chance to talk about something so interesting as ghost blocks in Minecraft. And I also hope that you like this sort of educational excursus to the world of clients and servers and ghost blocks. And if you did, then I can only encourage you to subscribe to this channel so you will never miss another upload of another crazy video just like this one. And if you did enjoy this video, then please do consider clicking the like button, as it really helps my channel get out there. But with all of that being said, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.